Hey, what to do, sports world, and welcome to the Real Untouchable podcast with me, Ray Diggs. I got a great segment for you all. I want to talk about what happened to Deion. Yes, Coach Prime, Colorado Buffaloes, when they played against the Stanford Cardinals. How did this team collapse the way it did? And nobody seemed to hold them accountable for what really happened and what I feel happened to this Colorado Buffalo team. Hey, man, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the share button as well. Okay. Excuse me, man. I'm a little excited about this episode right here. So, hey, listen, but let's go ahead and jump into it. Hey, let's talk about what really happened to the Colorado Buffaloes. As you all know, last week, this team right here was up 29-0. And to let a team come back and defeat them 46-43. Now, it was a lot of things that happened in this game that nobody seemed to want to hold this team accountable. The only thing they actually said was it was just a collapse. It was more than a collapse. It was a lot of undiscipline, bad coaching. It was both. But nobody want to say what the real problem is. These players are not being held accountable. Coach Prime not holding them accountable. Nobody on the coaching staff is holding them accountable. Nobody in the media is holding them accountable. Nobody's calling these players out. If you have a 29-0 lead, and yes, I'm going to put some blame on the head coach and the coaching staff, but we got to put some blame on these players as well. Shedeur Sanders being the number one. All of that. Why do you have to do all of this? Now, when you win, we can't get enough of you on TV. We can't get enough of seeing you, splurging around, throwing your arms up. But when you lose, you go into hibernation mode. You don't be seen. You're not on social media. You're not on nothing. Why is that? But I'll tell y'all why. The reason why is because he's a front runner. I've been telling y'all this. He's the definition of a front runner. He's the definition of what you would call a player who's, when they're ahead, they're talking. When they're winning, they're talking. But as soon as they lose a game, what's the first thing they do? They run into hibernation mode. They run into hide mode. Coach Prime is the number one issue behind this collapse because he's not holding these players accountable. He's not. I love Coach Prime. People think I don't, but I love Coach Prime. I love what he's doing with the Buffaloes. But what I don't love is he's not holding his son, which Shedeur is the number one issue because he's selfish. He only care about Shedeur. At halftime of this game, I don't think y'all really know that Shedeur Sanders was posting on his social media page. He was posting at halftime of a football game, which they was up 29-0. He was up posting about his merchandise. He wanted us to buy his merchandise. The S with the dollar sign. Yes, he was on there posting that. But see, the only person that called him out about it was Stephen A. Smith because he's the only one that got enough guts. And that's the one thing I can say about Stephen A. One thing I can say about him is that he don't mind calling people out. And I admire that about him. Because I haven't heard Skip Bayless call him out. I haven't heard Shannon Sharp or nobody call him out. That's the only person that I've heard to call out Shedeur Sanders for his tactics and the things that he's doing that everybody knows is wrong, like selling merchandise at halftime. I don't care if it was somebody. I don't know if it was somebody from his social media team or whatever. I don't care who it was. But in the end, you knew better. You knew that this wasn't going to be a good look. But the problem is he's a front runner. He thought the game was over with. He thought that this right here was an easy win. But Stanford, show and behold, they came back. And they ended up winning the game. Admire. Maynard. This kid right here put up 284 yards in the second half against them. Guess what they wanted to do? Travis Hunter had a hell of a game. I tell everybody this all the time. Travis Hunter is a baller. But I said this right here earlier. I said this right here a day before this game, Thursday. I said this. I'm sitting on Facebook and I'm having a debate with somebody. And they say, oh, Travis Hunter can do this right here at the highest level. I said, listen, man. Travis Hunter is going to have to pick a position. He's going to have to pick a side. He's going to have to pick either wide out or cornerback. And don't get me wrong, if they need him at cornerback, he might have to go out there and play cornerback. Or if he pick wide out, they might need him. I mean, if he pick cornerback, you know, they might need him at wide receiver every now and then. But him playing both sides, that's not sustainable. Who has ever, and I'm saying, y'all talking about Deion did it. Deion did it in a time where it wasn't everybody running a spread offense, up-tempo offense. Because that's what everybody runs in the Pac-12. It's not sustainable. You can't go from one side of the ball to the other side of the ball and think about how many plays your team is running and think about how many plays the other team is running. You think about Oregon. Oregon running 70, 80 plays a game. Your team might run another 60 plays. You telling me this man right here played over 100 plays and you telling me that's sustainable? It's not sustainable. Put him at cornerback, and if you want to put him at wide receiver, maybe 10 plays, 15 plays, cool. But you can't play him 60 plays, 50 plays, 40 plays on both sides of the ball. It's not sustainable. It's just not. And he's going to have to pick a side. That's what scouts are saying. The scouts are telling him. They're telling, but his coaching staff, they're hard-headed. They don't want to listen. Travis is a dog. We know Travis is a dog. We know Travis is a baller. He's a playmaker. He's everything. He's an all-world player. But he can't sustain this type because everybody runs a spread. He can't run. He can't do this. In my opinion, my own opinion from watching Travis, I've been watching Travis Hunter play ever since he was at Collins High School. I keep telling everybody. I've been watching this kid play ever since he was at Collins High School. I knew he was a baller in high school. But I also said that he was a better, wait for it, he's a better wide receiver than he is a cornerback. And he's a dog at cornerback. But if I had to pick one, if I'm him, I'm picking wide receiver. Because this dude right here, he can make monster money in the NFL playing wide out. Nobody can stop the kid, dude. He's a playmaker, dude. He can do it all on the offensive side. On the defensive side, he's a dog. He's good. He can shut you down. But I think that his Hall of Fame trajectory is at wide receiver. And he have to think about it. Which one make the most money? Can I make more money as a wide receiver or as a cornerback? Think about it now. As a wide receiver, Jamar Chase is probably about to go ahead and get about $90 to $100 million right now. Somebody going to give it to him. And that's the crazy thing is that he might be up for another contract by the time he's about 27 years old. At cornerback, let's talk about Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey got paid once. Do you think somebody is going to be in a rush to give Jalen Ramsey another $100 million contract? Probably not. So that's the Travis Hunter thing. I think that his Hall of Fame trajectory is on the defensive side on the offensive side of the ball at wide receiver. Because he can do it all at wide receiver. All right. But Shedeur had 33 for 47, 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. But that one pick was that was the killer. Now, Travis Hunter had 13 catches for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's why I said it, you see? But this team, all they had to do, honestly, coming out for halftime, they are 29 to nothing. All they had to do is just get first down and get out of there with a win. What did they want to do? They wanted to keep throwing the ball, and that's how Stanford got back in. Because Stanford was striking, boom. They struck. Okay, let's see. They had 7 plays, 43 yards. All right, 7 plays, 43 yards. That was a 3-minute time of possession. Okay, they had 1 play, 97 yards, which was 15 seconds. They had 2 plays for 60 yards, which was 21 seconds. So they scored 2 touchdowns, 14 points, and what? 36 seconds. 36 seconds, they had already been back in the game. They was already down. They went from being down 29 to nothing to being down 29-19. Now I feel like I can win the game. Why didn't Coach Prime make some adjustments then? I'm gonna tell y'all this right here before I let y'all go. What needs to happen with Colorado? It's time for them to take a step back and humble themselves. That's the number one thing for this Colorado Buffalo team. I get it, y'all got swag. Y'all got swag just like the coach, but your coach done already had a Hall of Fame career. He done already won at the highest level. What it's take for you all is this: get yourself in the film room and get better. Like Tom Brady told Shedeur Sanders. I think Shedeur Sanders and I've been saying this right here ever since he was in high school. I've been watching Shedeur Sanders ever since he was in like the 10th, 11th grade. Down there at Trinity High School, down there in Dallas. I've been watching this kid ever since then. And I've been saying, and I've been saying this right here ever since then, that this kid right here can be really, really good. I'm gonna go and pull a video where I said this right here a long, long, long time ago. And I still say it today. I don't have nothing against Shedeur, but I don't like his tactics. I don't like his behavior. I think it's getting out of hand. And I said this right here when they played against Colorado State when he did this against the coach. It wasn't professional. He shouldn't have done that. And I keep saying it today, but everybody you hating on Coach Prime. No, I'm calling him out on his behavior. I'm calling him out, his son out on his behavior. And that's why I said, that's why everybody needs to, that's why the people around them need to tell him, you're not Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a 7-time Super Bowl champion. This man won 7 Super Bowls. You just came from an HBCU. Now you're at Colorado, in which you all are what? 3-2, 4-2, 4-3. Okay, be humble. Tom Brady was humble his entire career. Even when he was winning the Super Bowl, he was humble. You have to be humble. You have to be a humble player. And that is the reason why I'm telling y'all that Shedeur Sanders, he got to check it right now. Because if he don't, it's going to only get worse. He has to check he got to be humble. He has to be humble, and he need to humble himself now. Shiloh, if Shiloh is more on the humble side, yeah, he might say something every now and then, but for the most part, Shiloh don't really talk that much. And that's what I like about Shiloh. He just go out there and he just play the game. Even though that defense, that secondary is terrible. I'm not saying it's all Shiloh's fault, but that defense is terrible. I mean, they got their own shot. They got Cooper, Stoudemire, all of them was getting lit up. It didn't matter who it was. But they need to look at some dogs at cornerback and safety. That's what they need to look at. But Shedeur Sanders have to humble himself. That team needs to humble themselves. And I think that if that happens, this doesn't happen anymore. 29-0 collapse doesn't happen anymore. And then they even went up, it was 26, 29, 26, 36, 26, and then what happened? Hey, Stanford went on another long drive. And then Stanford went and kicked the game time field goal. Stanford won this game because one team didn't give up. One team was disciplined when they needed to be, and the other team was way too cocky. One team was undisciplined, and that's how you lose games. You lose games in college football by being undisciplined and underestimating the other team. Con the other team. One touchdown. Let's see who Weaver made. That last 14-yard touchdown that he made, it was totally disrespectful, what he did. So that is how you lose games, by being undisciplined and underestimating the other team. You always have to respect your opponents, whether you're up 29-0 or you down 29-0. It doesn't matter. Respect your opponent. And that is what the problem with this Colorado Buffalo team. They need to start respecting their opponent. Stop disrespecting your opponent even when you know that you're better than them. You need to beat them. Because that's exactly what this team right here should have done. Instead of taunting and doing all this, selling merchandise at halftime, you need to beat this team. And I think Coach Prime will get them together. And like Coach Prime said, I just don't think that these players have the love for the game the way I did. And if you ain't got the love for something, you're not gonna do it to the best of your ability. You gotta love things. You gotta love doing something to make you want to do it. You see? All right, but I ain't gonna preach today, man. Thank y'all again for listening to another great segment of the Real Untouchable Podcast with me, Ray Diggs. Hey, listen, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the share button. All right, and make sure y'all stay tuned for my next episode. All right, peace, and y'all have a great weekend, of college football. Peace.